Let's go. Yeah. For those of you that want to know what we're all about, it's like this, y'all. Come on. This is 10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentrated power of will, 5% pleasure, 50% pain, and 100% reason to remember the name. He doesn't need his name up in lights, he just wants to be heard, whether it's the beat or the mic. He feels so unlike everybody else, alone, in spite of the fact that some people still think that they know. But no, he knows the code. It's not about the salary, it's all about reality and making some noise, making a story, making sure his click stays up. That means when he puts it down, Tox picking it up. Let's go.
Who the hell is he anyway? He never really talks much, never concerned with status, but still even him starstruck. Humble through opportunities given despite the fact that many misjudge him cause he makes a living from writing raps. Put it together himself, now the picture connects. Never asking for someone's help or to get some respect. He's only focused on what he wrote. His will is beyond reach, and now it all unfolds. The skill of an artist.
This is 20% skill, 80% beer, be 100% clear, cause Ryu was ill. Who would've thought he'd be the one that set the West in flames? And I heard him wreck it with the crystal method, name of the game. Came back, dropped Megadeth, took him to church. I like Bleach, man. Ryu had the stupidest verse, this dude is the truth. Now everybody giving them guest spots and stocks through the roof. I heard he f***ing with that stock.
This is 10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentrated power of will, 5% pleasure, 50% pain, and 100% reason to remember the name.
They call him Ryu, he's sick and he's spitting fire and Mike. Got him out the dryer, he's hot. Found him in Fort Minor with top, but a f***ing nihilist porcupine. He's the type women wanna be with, and rappers hope he gets 8 years in the making, patiently waiting to blow. Now the record with your notice taking over the globe. He's got a partner in crime, his is equally dope. You won't believe the kind of that comes out of this kid's throat.
He's not your everyday on the block. He knows how to work with what he's got, making his way to the top. He often gets a comment on his name. People keep asking him, was it given that birth or does it stand for an acronym? No, he's living proof. Let him rock in the booth. He'll get you buzzing quicker than a shot of vodka with juice. Him and his crew are known around as one of the best, dedicated to what they do and give 100%.
Forget Mike, nobody really knows how or why he works so hard. It seems like he's never got time, because he writes every note and he writes every line. And I've seen him at work when that light goes on in his mind. It's like a design is written in his head every time, before he even touches a key or speaks in a rhyme. And those other fellas he runs with, the kids that he signed, ridiculous, without even trying. How do they do it? This is 10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentrated power of will, 5% pleasure, 50% pain, and 100% reason to remember the name. This is 10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentrated power of will, 5% pleasure, 50% pain, and 100% reason to remember the name. Yeah. Fort Minor, M. Shinoda, styles of beyond. Ryu, Top Beer, Machine Shop. You ready? Let's go. Yeah. For those of you that want to know what we're all about, it's like this, y'all. Come on. This is 10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentrated power of will, 5% pleasure, 50% pain, and 100% reason to remember the name. He doesn't need his name up in lights, he just wants to be heard, whether it's the beat or the mic. He feels so unlike everybody else, alone, in spite of the fact that some people still think that they know. But no, he knows the code. It's not about the salary, it's all about reality and making some noise, making a story, making sure his click stays up. That means when he puts it down, Tox picking it up. Let's go.
Who the hell is he anyway? He never really talks much, never concerned with status, but still even him starstruck. Humble through opportunities given despite the fact that many misjudge him cause he makes a living from writing raps. Put it together himself, now the picture connects. Never asking for someone's help or to get some respect. He's only focused on what he wrote. His will is beyond reach, and now it all unfolds. The skill of an artist.
This is 20% skill, 80% beer, be 100% clear, cause Ryu was ill. Who would've thought he'd be the one that set the West in flames? And I heard him wreck it with the crystal method, name of the game. Came back, dropped Megadeth, took him to church. I like Bleach, man. Why you had the stupidest verse? This dude is the truth. Now everybody giving them guest spots and stocks through the roof. I heard he f***ing with that stock.
This is 10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentrated power of will, 5% pleasure, 50% pain, and 100% reason to remember the name.
They call him Ryan, he's sick and he's spitting fire and Mike. Got him out the dryer, he's hot. Found him in Fort Minor with top, but a f***ing nihilist porcupine. He's the type women wanna be with, and rappers hope he gets 8 years in the making, patiently waiting to blow. Now the record with your notice taking over the globe. He's got a partner in crime, his is equally dope. You won't believe the kind of that comes out of this kid's throat.
He's not your everyday on the block. He knows how to work with what he's got, making his way to the top. He often gets a comment on his name. People keep asking him, was it given that birth, or does it stand for an acronym? No, he's living proof. Let him rock in the booth. He'll get you buzzing quicker than a shot of vodka with juice. Him and his crew are known around as one of the best, dedicated to what they do and give 100%.
Forget Mike, nobody really knows how or why he works so hard. It seems like he's never got time, because he writes every note and he writes every line. And I've seen him at work when that light goes on in his mind. It's like a design is written in his head every time, before he even touches a key or speaks in a rhyme. And those other fellas he runs with, the kids that he signed, ridiculous, without even trying. How do they do it? This is 10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentrated power of will, 5% pleasure, 50% pain, and 100% reason to remember the name. This is 10% luck, 20% skill, 15% concentrated power of will, 5% pleasure, 50% pain, and 100% reason to remember the name. Yeah, Fort Minor, M. Shinoda, Styles of Beyond, Ryu, Talk Beer, Machine Shop.
To another tip. My name is Dave Alexander. I'm here with Curtis Black of the Woodstock Slammers in the Maritime Junior A Hockey League. And we're going to talk to you a little bit today about the fingers up position in your stance and its benefits. So let's just take a quick look. If Curtis were to jump into his stance, okay, if Curtis were to jump into his stance, this is what we mean by fingers up position. Now, the benefits of this are numerous, but mostly the most important benefit is that Curtis has created the ability to cut the trajectory of the puck off to that upper corner. That's very important because we know the puck is coming from the ice. It's not coming from a higher location. So it's very important to have our fingers up to cut off that trajectory. In previous years and in previous thinking, goaltenders used to have their glove down towards the side a little bit. But as we can see, this kind of creates an opening towards the upper corner, okay? And when a save process is made, in this position, your hand tends to roll behind you, further exposing that corner a little bit. Now, with the fingers up position, it allows us to travel in a more straight line fashion when we're trying to make those saves, and we can catch that puck out in front of us better. The other significance is for those pucks that come up towards the shoulder, maybe just a little bit on the outside of the shoulder. If Curtis were to have his hand here, he would really have to pull away from the puck to make the save. However, with the fingers up position, the hand can move freely to catch anything out in front of his body. There's also a few other benefits, and just one of those to touch on, for instance, is in a loading position. Now, if Curtis were to assume his stance, okay, and if he were to follow, say, a puck down the wall. So if Kurt came out here, and he were to follow a puck coming down the wall, and if all of a sudden the position and the situation required him to drop into a loading position, his glove hand is already there to take away that upper corner, okay? Whereas if his glove were in a more previous standard type position, okay, and he jumped into a load, he would have to bring his hand around and all the way up, and if he didn't, his hand being jammed between the pad and the post. So that's just another benefit of having the fingers up position. So if we just take one last look at the stance here, Curtis is in his stance, again, fingers up position, making himself... I'm going to talk to you a little bit today about the directional angle that your legs will attack pucks for shots to the low corners. What we're going to notice is that today, with the trend style being a butterfly type style, we're noticing a lot of goaltenders are executing into the butterfly position as shots are coming and then releasing from the butterfly when the decision has been made where to make the save. So for instance, if Andrew is in his net with the shot coming on, as he drops into his butterfly, we'll say that the puck has been shot towards the low corner. What we're noticing with a lot of goaltenders is that from the butterfly position, a lot of goaltenders are kicking out at the puck because they want to cover that corner. The same thing can be said on the other side, they're really kicking at that puck. But what this is creating is a rebound effect. So what happens is, if this were the incoming puck and Andrew were to kick out at it, our rebounds are ending up back in front. So what we need to do is change the directional approach that our pad takes when we make our lower leg saves. And that is to say we should use an extension method versus the kicking method. So if the puck were to be aimed at this low corner, Andrew would extend his foot to make the save versus kicking it. And by extending it, we create the angle necessary to have our puck go into the corner. The other important thing is, when we're using our leg extensions, we're starting to see minimal use of the stick, because in our butterfly type style, it's imperative to have that stick in the 5-hole. One thing we suggest to do is, whenever making saves to those corners, to really ensure that that stick is also following your leg, because for optimal coverage and optimal performance, we can try to get that puck up high into the glass or into the corner through the use of your stick.
From looking at this overhead view, we'll get a good shot of how we can see that leg kick versus the extension. There we see the leg kick with the rebound popping out into the front versus the leg extension now, which was more advantageous to have the rebound into the corner. Once again, a kick which produces a rebound versus an extension which is more advantageous to throw the rebound.
Our next tip, we're here with Travis Fulton, the St. John Sea Dogs in the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League. And today, Travis and I are going to tell you guys a little bit about an advanced foot positioning on your post to understand on how to read the play and the attack with regards to your angle on your butterfly slide. So I'll get Travis to jump on the post over here. What we see a lot of goaltenders that end up doing is they end up having pretty much a standard foot position all the time on the post. So it's usually probably maybe a little bit right around a 45-degree angle. You see a lot of goaltenders always have this standard position. But what we would like to tell you people is that you can move this leg in and out varying on the attack. So let's say, for instance, the attack is coming, the threat is a little bit more in front. If that's the case, Travis might want to close up just a little bit. So if the puck is coming down around the backside and our threat is in this area here, Travis might want to have his foot closed so that when he does slide, his directional angle is more precise to the puck. That being said, if the point of attack shifts, so would Travis's foot. So for instance, say now I am the point of attack, Travis might close his back leg a little bit, which will allow him to slide better. And lastly, if the threat is coming directly from the back door, Travis might just have his foot just in front of the goal line to allow him a better slide. What I'd like to do now is just take a quick look at how this works with your slide. So if Travis were on his post and the threat were coming, say, from the back door, Travis can execute a nice slide this way by having his foot flush with the goal line. If Travis were to jump back and to close up a little bit more, and say the threat was still coming from the far side, now when Travis pushes, he needs to rotate and then push through, which will cost him those fractions of a second that goaltenders need at the higher level. The same thing could be said from an attack this way. If Travis was close too much, he would still have to rotate and then slide into the puck. Again, losing valuable time. So again, let's just take a quick look. Just to recap, if Travis is on his post, the threat is coming more from the front than a position such as so will work. If the threat is coming more from a center position, you might want to close your leg. And lastly, if that threat is coming from the far side, you might want to be a little bit more flush with the goal line. And that's our tip for this. I'm Dave Alexander from Alexander Goaltending, and I'm here with Katie Schofield, who plays banter play for the Western Valley Panthers. And we're here to talk to you a little bit today about your foot positioning when talking about proper leg recovery. So first we're just going to go over a couple details about proper leg recovery if you're unfamiliar with it. So Katie will jump down into his butterfly. And what proper leg recovery does for us is it minimizes the amount of movement to get from point A to point B when we've initiated a butterfly. So if the puck were to hit Katie's pad and go in this direction, proper leg recovery tells us he should pick up with his blocker leg and then push. Okay, back to the middle. If he were to not use proper leg recovery, he would have to pick up this leg, then the other leg, and then a push. So what happens is that there are too many movements. Proper leg recovery minimizes the amount of movements to get from one area to another. So quite simply said, whichever way the puck goes, you get up with the opposite leg. Jump into your butterfly. So if the puck were to go to his blocker side, he lifts with the trapper leg. If the puck were to go to his trapper side, he would lift with his blocker leg. Now what we're going to talk about in particular here today is where this foot should be, the optimal position for it, and what would happen if you don't gain that optimal position with your foot. So if the rebound were to go to his trapper side, what happens is if Caden's foot were to be far away from his knee, he would not get the full amount of power that he could gain from getting his foot in tighter. My analogy of this is if you're riding a bicycle, you don't put the seat very high, all the way up, so that your leg is straight because you will not generate very much power on your bike. Rather, you put the seat at a mid-level where you can get a nice knee bend and generate lots of power. And I'll show you quickly what I mean by this. I'm going to swing and face me. So if Caden were to pick his proper leg up on his trapper side, you can see the nice knee bend. If I move his glove, you can see the nice knee bend he's generated, and that's going to activate a lot of major muscles, such as his glutes and his hamstrings, his quads. It's going to activate all of them, and that will allow him to generate a lot of power to go in the direction he needs. Versus if his foot was out wider, you can see how we lose the angle. It's gone from about 90, we had a nice 90 degree, and he's opened that angle up a lot bigger. We don't have the same amount of bend, which means he's going to lose a little bit of power. And that's our tip for the week. We thank Katie for joining us. We'll see everybody at our next tip.
Try to keep away from that.
Alright Trent, here's what we're going to do. I got your list for the majority of the stuff that you want to work on. I'm going to try and fit as much of it into a video format as possible. Obviously I can't teach you from start to finish different aspects or different approaches or fix the things that I see that you need to work on, but I can give you a good technical foundation for moving around the net, which is the most important thing. You're always going to be continuously working on your movement, and that's going to be the foundation of your game. The faster you can get where you need to go, the easier it is for you to get set up, and the earlier you're set up, the easier it is. You're using the 4 rules for moving around the net. Always starting with your visual lead, then you're going to have your rotation, your load and gather, which is the same for standing and being down, and then your push, okay? Your load and gather, what you're going to do is your front knee is coming back into your body, your back leg is going to be, you have to get your entire blade on the ice. Can't push off just the toe, just the heel, just the side. So you're really going to have to get that knee and that pad up in the air, okay? When you're pushing, your front leg needs to be flared, which is to say your butterfly needs to be as wide as possible, because as you're covering area, shots can come. So you're going to want to have as much coverage moving to the point that you're going. One thing I want to show you is when you're doing your momentum builds, your load and gather, the third stage of movement. These are going to be the most important points. Your blade's going to be on the ice. Your front knee needs to come in, but it can't be on the ice. You need to pick your front knee up off the ice. That way you're not pushing against it, okay? From the back, here's what it's going to look like. My knee's off the ice. My front, I'm pretty much like in a wall sit on my loading leg, and my gather is coming into the center of my body. So here it is. From the side, you should be able to see how low I am in my stance. I'm pretty much on a wall sit, okay? There's no weight on my front foot. That way I can push and cover large areas. And all the weight is on my back leg, my push leg, so I can get power. Look how low you need to get your power, okay? Keeping your chest high the entire time. That's how you're going to... Everything we do is going to be focused through the center, all right? You'll notice that when I move from one angle to the other, I'm starting on an angle, I'm using a T-push, and instead of T-pushing straight across the top of the crease, I'm coming back through the center of the crease and then back out onto my angle. That's giving you power, and you're always going to want to move through the center of your crease. If you do that, you can also extend your T-push for a lot longer distances, all right? What I'm going to show you right now is just the backside of how you should be recovering, how you should be moving all the time. What these are called, one is called a backside push, which is when you stay down on your knees and you're changing your angle and moving across the net while you're down. And the other is called a backside recovery, which is where you're coming back to your feet as you're changing your angle. So just go ahead and watch. So visual lead, get your eyes on the puck. Number 2, you're going to get your rotation, find the angle. Number 3 is your load and gather. And 4 is your actual push. All right, here goes. This is going to be the exact same stuff, but from the front side. So this is the front side. I'm going to do the exact same thing. Backside push, which is while I'm moving across the crease down. Backside recovery, which is where I'm moving across the crease up. Okay, so the entire point and purpose of this type of movement is to eliminate extra time, okay? Before, you'd be in a butterfly, like I used to play, pop right back up, and that you're stuck, okay? You made a save on your glove side, puck went to your blocker side, you pop back to your feet, and then you're standing in your stance, and then you have to move out of that. That's extra movement. Smartest thing for you to do is to find your angle in the fastest, most efficient way possible. If you know that you have to push off your back foot, why not make that the only foot you rise to, right? Why get up on both feet, then transfer your weight to your back foot, then ride to the front side, get where you're going, okay? So, what we're doing is we're eliminating that middle movement. We're using only the leg that we're going to push off of. Okay? That's the only skate blade that's contacting the ice before we make motion to where we need to go. You're going to pretty much use this in every aspect of your game. You're taking away decision making. Okay? Any save you make, rotate your body, find the angle, push to where you need to be, then recover. If it's out high, you have a lot of time, you can do a backside recovery. If it's in close, you're going to use a backside push. Let me show you an example, a bad example of how I used to play. Shot came in on from my glove side angle, made a save, puck went to my blocker side, I had to recover, there's a one-timer, and I got to fill that piece of the net. This is what we used to do. It's not very efficient. As you can see in that example, when you rise to your feet, there's an extra movement. First off, you're still on the same angle, so you haven't changed angle, which means you need to rotate your chest before you can go anywhere. Secondly, your legs are in a wide spread, so you can't get very much power out of your push. Your back foot is already on an angle, and your front foot is already heading in the direction that it needs to go. What that does, takes your body, instead of it being in the middle, separates it, and then you try to get power from there. It's impossible to get very much power when everything's already extended. So remember, in all your game, keep everything in the middle, try to make as many saves through your chest, through the center of your body, covering net, okay? That's what we're doing. We're getting where we need to go. We're turning into a blocking situation, reacting with our hands and legs if need be. So let me show you what we'll do now in that exact same situation. See how we can cover. It's much faster. We change the angle, and we have all of our save coverage already moving toward the puck. That's why our front leg is already leading, it's already flared, it's already down. See how much more efficient that is? It looks like I'm pulling away from the puck, but in reality, I'm preparing myself to make a save, an easier save. I don't have to reach for it. I have all the coverage to the center of my net. So, if they have to beat me, they're gonna have to beat me to a top angle or low on the post. The thing is, all my body parts, my legs, my knees, my hands, they're all in close to my body, which means that the spot that I'm in is not all the coverage that I offer. If they shoot to the post, I can extend my arms, I can extend my legs, cover an even wider area than the blocking service that I already have. Okay? Is this starting to make sense? I'm sure you probably already know a lot of this, so we're going to get to work on it. Okay, so two of the top points that you mentioned were that your recovery was too slow and your butterfly slides. You need to work on your butterfly slides. Implementing these moves into every save and every movement that you make is going to give you power, okay? This is going to speed up your recovery. Instead of coming back up to your feet like we used to, which doesn't make any sense because now you have to rotate your body, cover the area, then make a save, we're just going to stay where we're at, okay? If you make a down save, move in a down motion. If the puck comes off your pads and it's high to the point, then you can go ahead and recover to your feet, get set up. But in close, anything below the dots, you might as well cover the angle down. And if you have time, when you get to the point that you're at, rise up and regain your depth. From point to post on your butterfly slide, what the most important thing is, you're going to get your rotation. There's two ways to do it, okay? You can either be out high, rotate, load and gather, and then fill the space back to the post, or you can do what's called a momentum build, where you actually do a quick C cut and then rotate into it, all right? These all depend on timing, and they all depend on depth, all right? So here's the two examples, and you should be able to cover a ton of area with this, all right? Make sure that when you're backing in, you're going to bring your front foot. Don't try to extend it to where the puck is. Bring your front foot back into the center of your body, dropping that knee, getting your coverage, and then fill the space. That way you don't strong push. Okay, this is the one without momentum build. This is momentum build. As you can see, with your momentum build, you can cover a lot of area really fast, but you don't want to use it unless it's out high and you're chasing the man and he makes a wide pass all the way across. As often as possible, you're right. One of the big things that we're going to want to remember while we're doing this style, after you make a save on an angle, everything that you're doing, you're covering the center of the crease, okay? So if I make a save at the top of the crease and the rebound comes out to the high slot, go from the top of the crease to the top of the crease in the center. I'm covering a lot of area, and when I do that, I'm creating a lot of holes. So I don't want to do that, okay? What I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate my body, I made the save, rotate my body, fill the center of the net, then I have all my coverage. I'm deeper, of course, but I have coverage. If I'm out high and they make a pass to the back door or decide to go around me, I'm scrambling, okay? And that's not what we want. So, but first I'm going to show you an example of a play where I would be chasing the puck. It's called chasing space, chasing an angle. It doesn't make sense. If they make a backdoor pass or go around me, I'm too high out and I end up diving, okay? So I'll show you. As you can see there, I made the initial save, the rebound came out to the center, and I tried to cover an angle going high. It doesn't make sense though, because he can make a pass. He's not going to shoot the puck all the time. As soon as he makes that pass or as soon as he dekes, I'm out high and I have no coverage, okay? So you saw that I'm going to end up having to dive. I'm screwed pretty much. What we're going to want to do instead, make the save, rotate to the center of the net, and then depth. in that situation, you can see, made the initial save, the rebound came out to the center. I covered the center of the net, so I had all my coverage. I'd have to reach to make a save, but I had all my coverage. Then I regained my depth. If he holds onto the puck, bam, then I can cover that angle. Then if he passes, I can cover. But we don't want to ever be moving out away from the net in motion, unless there's no one behind us and no other shooting opportunity. You said that you wanted to work on using your height to your advantage. Here's what you're going to do. Make sure that your feet aren't getting too far away from your body, okay? Don't let them get too wide in your stance. Don't sink. If you are going to sink down, make sure that your back and your chest and your shoulders, everything's high and your butt sinks down, okay? If you're standing and your knees don't make any move and your ass doesn't sink down, you're not really doing anything for yourself. You're not creating power in your legs. You're making the situation more difficult, okay? So this is an example. As you can see from that, my knees do not bend. I am not creating anything. All I'm doing is taking away the blocking area of my body, and I'm making it smaller than it already is. If you want power for getting around the net, keep your chest and your shoulders as high as possible and drop your knees and your ass, okay? That's how you create power. If you want to play tall, if you want to play high, think of a guy like Roberto Luongo. When the puck is far away from the net, they play what's called a relaxed stance. You can stay high in your stance, you can keep your chest up high, you don't need power to get anywhere because the puck is far away from you. You don't need speed, you should be able to cover the area with T-pushes from an almost standing position, okay? So do that. Play a relaxed stance. Arms in where they're supposed to be, but not clenched, okay? Not extended. Keep them near your body, exactly covering your holes. If you need to, bam, then clinch up. But a relaxed stance is where everything is ready to move as fast as possible. Nothing is clenched, okay? But when you're playing your relaxed stance, if you want to cover your area and you want to create power, use your chest. It's the biggest part of your body, so make sure you keep it high. What you want to do on rebounds is something we've kind of already talked about. The question that you asked was, when you leave a rebound, should you rise to your feet? Should you cover in a half butterfly? Or should you just cover the puck? You're going to want to cover the puck as much as possible if it's close to you. If it's that close to you, you're never going to want to rise up. Actually, anything that's in close, you're not going to want to rise up. We've already talked about that. You're going to move, fill the angle while you're down, flare your pads, okay, and use a backside push. That's how you're going to want to cover as much wide space as possible. Now, if you make a save and the puck changes angle just a little bit and it's in close on you, you're going to want to make the save and then use what we call a knee shuffle. There's 5 ways to get around the net. 1 is a shuffle, and you're going to use that for angle tightening. 2 is a T-push. You're going to use that for covering wide areas when you have time. Usually, the rule will be that you use a T-push for passes, shuffles for when the guy's carrying the puck, okay? Because shuffles are small, tight angle adjustments. T-pushes are wide angle adjustments, okay? Then you have your backside push, which is when we're down and we're pushing across the net. We have our backside recovery, which is when we're down, we're pushing and recovering back to our feet using a T-push. And then we have the 5th one, which is the knee shuffle. The knee shuffle is just small little tightenings of your body to make sure to cover and change angle. The big thing you're going to want to remember when you're doing your knee shuffles is to keep your hips above your knees. If you sink down, if your chest comes over your feet, then it turns into a bit of a bobbing motion, all right? And I'll show you both. If you keep your hips above your knees, you're going like this. You go straight along, straight along, straight along. If you start to sink back, it turns into this right here. You're losing area, all right? So these are the examples for small angle changes. See? Now as you can see, when the puck's in close, I can use knee shuffles. I'm not creating any holes. I'm just changing the angle and I'm covering my angle. When the puck gets away from me, when the rebound goes to the corner, I'm going to use my backside push. Alright, so that's how you're going to want to recover. If the puck stays in close to you, know you talked about looking through the net. If you're a little bit taller now and there's not much play happening and you can stand up, you can look over the bar and move in a stance, okay? But the majority of the time, if the puck's in close, you're going to want to be in your stance and you're going to be down low enough that the bar is not going to get in your way, okay? You should never be moving where the bar is at your head. If you can't see, just look underneath it, look through the net, all right? So this is going to be 2 examples. One, where the puck's away from me and there's no pressure, and I can look over my shoulder and over the bar. 2, where there's pressure, the puck's in close, it's a tight rebound. I'm going to keep my stance low. I'm going to use my VH, which is my vertical horizontal, which is when my pad is up the post on one side and my far side pad is covering the center of the apples. Those are 2 examples of what you're going to want to do when the puck is high and there's no pressure. You can move and move around the net. As soon as it drops down low, you're going to want to use your VH as much as possible, cover as much net as possible, and force them to beat you, okay? Real quick, I know you said you wanted to work on your recovery from your back. First off, you don't want to be on your back very often, but if for some reason you are, there is really only one way to get up, okay? You lay on your back. You're going to sit up, keeping your legs out in front of you, okay? You're going to bring your glove hand around to the side. Use it as a push. Put your glove hand right near your butt. Set it in. Push off of it. Rise to your feet. Bring the rest of your body forward, okay? This is just, if you want to get quick at it, it's totally just a practice thing. As you can see, you're just going to get your hand back around. Make sure you pull your feet in. It's kind of difficult to explain. Sit yourself up as high as you possibly can. Keep your legs completely straight. And when you push up, swing your feet back underneath you. All right? Use your glove or use your blocker hand and your stick as leverage to balance yourself out. If you keep your stick in close to your body, you're not going to be able to get. Some people say, "Oh, fill the hole in front of your legs." Makes sense, but it makes it harder to get up. So you're losing speed when you do that. I like to put my glove hand down, my blocker hand out in front of me, use it as balance. It helps to pull me forward. Okay, what I'm going to work on now is called PSM. It's post-save movement. It has nothing to do with pucks. This is strictly working on technique, power, movement, all that stuff. The stuff that I showed you earlier in the video, the way you're supposed to be moving, your T-pushes, your shuffles, backside pushes, backside recoveries, and knee shuffles, PSM incorporates all of them. You should be doing these all the time, whenever you have free second outside the net, before practices, warm-up, everything. You want to continuously get better. If you get better at this, you'll get where you need to be all the time. And making saves will become a lot easier because you have your whole body there ready to explode out from the center, okay? Okay, so long arrows through the middle of the crease, those are T-glides, short arrows are shuffles, flat lines are stops, BTs are butterflies, VH is V8 is vertical horizontal, and a small squiggly line with an arrow is your butterfly slide, and then small little C-looking lines, those are your C cuts. So momentum builds and depth varies. Okay? When you're doing these PSMs, don't just do them. Okay? Make sure you're focused. You don't go fast until you get good. Okay? You do them for 30 seconds a piece. Rest for 45 seconds. If you want, after you've done them and you're starting to pick up after you've done them and you're starting to pick up the technical ability, then you start working for speed. Okay? 10-second burst, getting as far and as fast as you can, getting out of your comfort zone. Your hands are going to be all over the place. Your legs are going to be trying to push as hard as possible. Just going for speed. It's aerobic, and the point of that is to get yourself in motion and to increase the speed that you've already developed. Okay? You do not need a net for these. You just need to an open area on the ice. That's all I do them on. That's all any goalie does them on. An open area of the ice before or after practice, during practice, off to the side of the net, wherever, okay? So I'm going to do a couple more PSMs for you to see, and then you can start. All right.